Hi, I'm Momtaz. Welcome to Hello Hue, the show where I chat to chromatic characters about the joy of colour. So if you're a fellow colour lover, then Hello Hue is for you. Welcome to another edition of Hello Hue. Today my guest is Mosaic Artist Kaye Gilhooly, who's based in Tasmania. Welcome to the show, Kaye. I want to start by asking about your fabulous Instagram name. It is the Goddess of Colour. It doesn't get better than that. So tell me about where that name originated from and why you decided to choose it.
Well, I come from an artistic family. Both my parents were artists. My mum was a painter and my dad was a jeweler and a ceramic person and then a painter. So I guess colour's always been there. And then I did art school, went back and retrained in design and colour. And the last 12 years in Tassie, I've been working in sort of fabric industry type jobs. So I've got a lot of knowledge on colour. And when one afternoon when we were sitting down, sort of Paul and I trying to come up with a name, even though I don't think of myself as a female god, I felt that I had a lot of experience and a lot of, I guess in a way, authority on colour. So the name seemed to fit, and nothing else that we sort of worked on sort of quite had that. And I thought, and then people just started calling me the goddess. So it stuck.
I mean, I think you embody it perfectly. I mean, you look absolutely stunning. And that's so interesting to hear that your parents also have an artistic background and that's sort of like come into you. It's all in your DNA.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I think because of that, I always sewed. I made my own clothes and everything when I was young. People have always admired that, and they've always gone, wow, look at your clothes and look at your house and everything. So it just seemed the right fit, the name, and people just, rather than calling me by my name, Kay, some people just call me Goddess now.
Is superb. Now, obviously, so you do a lot of different types of art, but we can
Yes.
see behind you a couple of mosaic sculptures because
Yes.
mosaics are one of your signature
Yeah.
arts that you're known for, and you
Mm.
do seem to share on your socials the mosaics that are in your home and outside of your home as well.
Mm.
So, what role does colour play in your mosaic creation?
It's sort of everything to me, colour, really, because it's been such a big part of my life. I think it's inspired me. I've never wanted to be a normal, boring, beige sort of thing. I find working in an industry where so much now is that. I've just found that being colourful, and I didn't set out to be colourful, I just was, I guess. And so it's always been a fun thing for me. And incorporating it in my work, it's just been a natural thing.
So when you start designing a mosaic, do you tend to sort of plan in your head? Do you plan on paper? Do you look at what colours you have? Or at what point do you decide on a colour scheme for it?
Well, I'm a collector as well. I have actually had a big clean out recently. But I guess the colour doesn't always come first, but it's always present. The creative process, I guess, is going out into the shed where all my junk is and playing with materials and pulling them together, because I've always got a long list of projects that I want to do, and I have lots of ideas and I have lots of colour combinations, I guess, in my head, but they don't always come together, and it's that playing process and fiddling with things. And sometimes I might go, oh yeah, I want to make something that's in blues, But what I think originally I'm going to make in blues might end up being something completely different, or I'm not in the mood to do that particular thing. So I might go off on some other tangent. I'm quite flexible in that in that regard. I don't do drawings, and I don't do a solid sort of plan of what I want to do. Even though I might have a clear idea, that idea may not even come up to the surface for years. So I've always found, even when I was at art school, to do planning, drawings or that type of thing ahead of doing work, I always struggled with that because it restricts you. It makes things harder to be a bit more loose and creative with.
I love the fact that you do sort of 3D mosaics, and as you say, you're a collector, so you sort of go around, collecting pieces and saving them for when you might need them. So what kind of places have you found items that you've used in your mosaic, or what are you looking out for when I say, perhaps you're out walking?
Well, I've always been inspired by visionary environments, and I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but they're generally places where people have spent 20 years of their life creating an environment, and quite a lot of them are actually mosaic environments where people have mosaicked, excuse me, everything in their house, and I've seen quite a few of them now around the world, and that's been in the back of my mind for 20 years. So they're people that collect, and they like using recycled things and things that they've found. And because I've done that, and because I do have this collection of things, I tend to use them, and I tend to not specifically go out looking for a particular colour or something very often, unless I'm trying to work to something really specific. I did an Australiana type thing a few years ago, and I wanted those Australian sort of desert colours, so I specifically went in looking for tiles. But generally, it's if I see something, I'll get it. A lot of people give me their broken china, old jewellery, glass beads, stones, all sorts of things, which again go in the shed. And I pull those out and play with those. And last year we made a big 12-metre long memorabilia path in our backyard, filled with all those collective things. I've picked up things when we've been out walking overseas, crushed up tiles in the ground, and I've gone, oh, look at that, wow, that might be hundreds of years old, and I've brought it home, and those sorts of things are now in our past. So every time I look at that, I've got other people's memories as well as my memories of, lost earrings and favourite jewellery and broken plates and cups and all sorts of things. So it's sort of a process over time.
That's incredible. And I've seen photos of your path on your Instagram, but I didn't actually realise that it was a memory path. That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
memory textiles like memory quilts, but the fact that you enter your home walking on this pathway and that's filled with memories, that's so special.
And I always see different things. I was sitting out there today and with our cat, and depending on where you sit, there's another little thing, because I did it over time and it was hard work, but you focus on little sections and you go, oh yeah, that's from there and that's from there, and such gave me that. And so it's a really nice thing to sort of be with all the time.
I think you've probably just sold this idea to everybody now.
What you need, it's bad for your knees, heavy digging, and took months, and
indeed,
but it was worth it.
As you say, like, you've collected these things over years, so wherever we are in our lives, we could start now, start collecting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So this wonderful path and this colourful home is actually in Tasmania. So
Yeah.
that's where you're joining us from, which is super, super exciting. Now, I don't know too much about Tasmania, I must admit. Perhaps you could describe a little bit about the colours of Tasmania. Are there particular places that you would associate with colour, or is it very much in the sort of visuals and nature?
Well, Tasmania is really known for its nature. I'm not a Tasmanian. I came from New South Wales, but I've lived here 13 years now. And I came because it's such a beautiful place, or we came. I didn't come on my own, but it's such a beautiful place, and it is the light, the natural environment. It's only small. There's only 550,000 people in Tasmania. We're an island. And it really is the natural colour. It drives a lot of people to do natural sort of art here, not lots of bright colours. But I think because, I lived in Sydney for 30 years, while I love that environment and I immerse myself in it, I don't go for those natural colours, but those natural colours inspire me. So it's more about, that light that might hit a wattle that brings out that beautiful yellow and all the myriad of greens and things like that. But if you want all the other sort of rainbow colours, it tends to be in the man-made things. And there's quite a lot of street art around Hobart. So that's inspiring, little laneways, filled with great artwork, but there's nowhere big that's just colourful. You have to sort of go in search of it. It's a bit more intimate here in Hobart, so you've got to sort of search those sorts of things out.
Well, it sounds like you could well be the centre of this colour in Hobart, and people.
Yes, I definitely think our house is the most colourful place in Hobart.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so, so much, Kaye, for sharing this sort of snippet and this aspects of your colourful life and your mosaic life as well. It's been a real pleasure to hear about it.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.